Hello, my name is K03, and I'd like to present my work that I've been doing for the last few months for the BaseF contest. It's titled A New Approach to Enhance Learning and Improve Safety with Driving. So, yeah, for the last year or so, obviously, there's been a lot of issues with COVID-19. And one of the big factors that's been affected is driving. People haven't been able to take their G1 or G2 tests to learn to drive, and they haven't even been able to go in the car with instructors. So there's been a lot of issues with people losing knowledge that they've gained at one point that they need for their test, but they haven't had lessons in so long they're beginning to forget things. And that's sort of happened to me too. So that gave me the idea of a driving simulation app that could help users with the rules of the road and the controls of a car. So my idea was that when you study for a test normally, like if you haven't been practicing a lot like you would normally in a car, if you've been taking the normal lessons about COVID, if you haven't done that, then you're going to be cramming all the information for this test, which isn't good because it means it's promoting declarative memories, which mean that you're likely to forget those rules afterwards, which could cause issues in the long run if you're forgetting the rules of the road. Like even if it's just small ones, it can still be dangerous. So the idea of this app is that it would promote procedural memories, which are the ones you would normally get from learning to drive normally. So, for example, that's like riding a bike, where you just once you know it, you don't forget it. That's procedural memory. And increasing awareness with driving is obviously it's going to improve safety. So, to start off this project, I decided to make an interest survey. Just to gauge how the community was feeling about such a project, and I created that. And there were some very promising results, as you can see here. Zoom in on this a little. You can see, well, from this first pie chart here, lots of people have studied for their G1 test, which is the road rules one, so what this app would sort of be focusing on. Most people use the driving handbook or a driving course of some kind, and only 2 people out of around 100 odd who took the survey said that they had in the past used a driving simulation app, which means this is a very minimal market and there's not much to do with this. And despite that, on another question, most people, like by far the most people, said that they would use such an app if it existed, which is good news. So I began developing this app using Unity, which is a development platform for coding. So Unity and C# together allow you to create projects based on using assets from the other people have created and uploaded to their store, and it gives a whole bunch of options. For example, lighting is built in. The whole thing's 3D, so you can make 3D things really easy. It just makes learning so much easier. And I also used Unity Learn to learn Unity, obviously. That was a very, very helpful program, which allowed me to get the basics really fast. And in fact, the first part of one of the courses I took was learning the player control mechanisms, which it was for this program you can see down in the bottom right here. It just basically was driving the car along the road and you could bump into boxes. It was pretty simple, but it was a good foundation for starting this. Here you can see one of the first versions of the app I was creating. It's just the green boxes there are triggers that would act as rules. So that you can see there's a stop sign in the first image. When you hit that box, it would begin testing the rule. And if you broke the rule, when you went around, it would just print out false. And if you were fine, it would print out true. Pretty basic, but it just started setting up rules. And you can see there was just these small maps that I used for that. Here you can see my GitHub, my Git log here for GitHub where I was saving everything. You can see all the updates I've made for a while, and it's been quite a few updates because I've been going through alpha testing, where I would add an update and then it would go off to a group of alpha testers who would give me feedback, and then I would incorporate those ideas. There's obviously lots of bugs at this stage, so I was fixing most of those before getting it to a stable beta version. So here you can see the app in its current state. It's got quite a few features at this point. It's multiple rules surrounding traffic lights, stop signs, speed signs, and indicators. There is a functioning steering wheel, which works as the same as a real car control would, so same amount of turning, has oversteer when it spins back. Got indicators, speedometer. The speeding, as you can see at the top there, is from a rule being broken, so it immediately flashes up, which promotes procedural memory. There is a mirror view, there are gears, an accelerator, and a brake. So the beta testing for this program began after it was in the state you saw there. I basically took the initial interest survey and everyone who signed up for beta testing on there and sent the app out to them. I didn't get quite as much feedback as I was expecting, mostly because the app doesn't currently have iPhone compatibility, which cut out a lot of potential testers. But the feedback I did receive was very helpful in finding the results for this app. So far, it seems people really like the concept and they like how the car controls feel like it's like a real car. And they found that it improved their awareness as they used the app. Their dislikes generally revolved around unfinished features or just issues like bugs, which will obviously be fixed as time goes on. So I think this app has a lot of potential to be used in programs such as Young Drivers, where it could be incorporated into their e-learning systems. Going through the e-learning myself, I found that it was a little plain and a tad boring at times just because it's the same thing over and over. It's just watching videos or just watching small simulations. There's nothing interactive, and I feel like this would help a lot there. And it would help to teach the controls of a car, which isn't something that's really available at the moment. I also feel like this app could be used individually by students in their G1 and G2 tests. This app could also be used for rehabilitating people who've been in car crashes in a risk-free environment. So I think there's a lot of further research that can be done on this. I'm definitely planning to continue adding features as I go. No plans to stop anytime soon. And I've got a lot of further plans for it. One test that could eventually be done that would be very useful would be to separate two groups, one of which had used the app and one had not. And then you could see their performance over time to find more results around the app. So I would like to thank May Nagapan, the software engineering professor at the University of Waterloo, for guiding me throughout this and helping me with the original planning with things like system architectures and requirement lists, which helped a lot. I would also like to thank Mr. Parsons, my science teacher, and Maria Vink, my co-op teacher, who have been very helpful throughout this process and gave me the original inspiration to go to BASEF.